hospital billing staff came and went with form after form after form for me to sign. The fear that something might go wrong, or with a vital sign slightly off the average that something was going wrong, guided every decision. If my newborn was not a certain weight or nursing at specific intervals, or in this percentile or that percentile, the pediatricians on call panicked. Once home, I felt shell-shocked, out of touch with my body and my voice. And now with the additional task of caring for a brand new, fragile baby after such frantic experiences. As my fourth baby lay fast asleep next to me that day, her 2 fingers acting as a pacifier, I thought back to the moments and hours following this Cuddlebug's birth, holding her for many ecstatic moments before giving her my breast, nursing her for a short time as I examined her precious rolls and wrinkles, falling asleep with her in my arms, waking up and handing her to Brandon so I could clean myself up and put on clothes, going to the couch, joyously taking the baby back into my arms to nurse her again. The kids waking up and celebrating the birth of their new sister with ear-to-ear grins. Everything just as I had visualized it years earlier when I was pregnant with my first child. Perfect. Later that day, as Brandon and I did lots of processing about this baby's peaceful birth, the Birth Without Fear community was born. We started by creating a Facebook page. At the time, it seemed to be what everyone was doing, and we wanted a way to reach as many women as possible as fast as possible. It seemed more effective than shouting from a bullhorn. We decided on the name Birth Without Fear to celebrate the kinds of birth experiences that empowered moms and families. At the same time, we were worried the assumption of fear might be too negative. I knew other women who experienced fear in childbirth, as I did with my first 3 children. But I didn't know how far it reached beyond my community, how many others struggled with a lack of good information, as I did, how many had experiences where they felt disrespected or judged. 7 years and more than 1 million followers later, it is clear we hit a nerve. I did not have my name attached to Birth Without Fear at first. It was an anonymous place for me to share a lot of information about pregnancy and birth options. So many women I talked to in my own life did not feel they were allowed to have a say in how they birthed. They didn't realize there were options and alternative approaches. Or if they did, they had no clue how to get their hands on the information. There was no place for us to collectively come together as women to share our experiences and information and to support one another. After a few months, women who joined our community asked to share their own stories. And that is how the blog and website began. I created Birth Without Fear as a way to offer information and support so that women could have more experiences like those I had with my 4th child. Peaceful, empowering births where fear didn't have to be the motivating factor. I wanted a platform from which I could stand up for women who opted not to have the standard hospital birth. It was a message of strength and empowerment for anyone wanting to walk the lesser-known path. Within a few short months, Birth Without Fear accumulated tens of thousands of followers. And I could see that it wasn't just a website, but a movement for women seeking information and affirmation. A place where they could find different, more supportive answers than they were getting from their birth care providers. A voice for us all, both collectively and individually. But soon I started to wonder about the voice I had given to Birth Without Fear. Yes, it was empowering. Yes, it was inspirational. Yes, it was feisty. But something was missing. I knew there was no mistaking that my 2nd and 3rd births ended in last-minute disappointment and trauma, and that my home birth was a healing experience for myself and Brandon. However, the more I reflected, I realized I had only been telling